Welcome to episode 384. Joe Jamail, last and only lawyer self-made billionaire in the world. This is an outline of episode 384. There are two reasons why we study Joe Jamail. First, he's the only lawyer self-made billionaire who made his fortune with law. Second, Joe Jamail has many names. King of Torts, greatest trial lawyer of the world, the man who bankrupted Texaco. Let us meet Joe Jamail.
I was taught that a lawyer is a custodian of the community's legal and ethical sense, so we should act like it. Ethics and morality of lawyers and business people. We've got a job convincing businessmen that lawyers are not their enemy. We're not the enemy of business. We protect their rights and their freedoms. Their resentment comes from having to pay lawyers' fees, not from the lawyers themselves, but they don't resist being paid fees themselves. A grave concern has been expressed by others as well as me that the legal profession today is viewed with distrust, dislike, and suspicion by too many people in too many places. There's a widespread public impression that the practice of law has become a business, primarily a money-grubbing, profit-maximizing, hustling business, rather than an admired and esteemed profession. This has brought into question the intention, integrity, and value of the profession generally. Lawyer bashing has become a peculiar indoor and outdoor sport where telling a lawyer joke, you can count on getting loud guffaws and laughter from everyone. How'd all this happen?
A lawyer eaten by T-Rex the dinosaur. Joe Jamail was born in Houston, Texas in 1925. His grandparents came to the United States in 1880s from Lebanon.
I learned the work value very, very early on, and the difference in respecting everybody as far as having the Lebanese background and different ethnic people in their lives.
And I was trying to escape them. Just simply put, I was the horniest man alive, boy. And I wanted out of there. And then the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life was leave and join the Marine Corps. Like every male, the testosterone gets you. I was gonna go win the war. I couldn't do it sitting on my ass in a hospital. So I went and joined the Marine Corps.
At age 28 in 1953, he earned his JD from the University of Texas. How Joe Jamail became the King of Torts.
Child, let me be interviewer. What would you do with a blind child? Give the daddy and mommy the money? If you want it.
We'd love to.
I got sued once because of that.
Okay.
I had a child who was horribly injured. The child had a brother and a sister who were not involved, who were not injured, not affected in any way. I was able to get a net of about $30 million for the child. Child needed 24-hour care, constant care. I don't mean to look and see, constant care. The parents were objecting to the structure. I said, I don't represent you. I represent this child.
In 1987, at the age of 62, he won his biggest case.
Texaco versus Pennzoil was Joe Jamail's biggest win in court.
He won $10.5 billion for Pennzoil and personally pocketed $345 million in contingency fees.
Justice for sale in Texas. Some recent headlines might make you wonder. The Wall Street Journal has called the decision of one Texas court a national embarrassment. What triggered this barrage of criticism? the Texaco Pennzoil dispute and the $10.5 billion verdict that a Houston jury rendered against Texaco. Of it. How big is it? How much money are we talking about?
It's outrageous. We're to the point now where it cost about $1.5 million to run a successful race for the Supreme Court of Texas.
Even does the money come from?
Largely from lawyers who practice in the court.
Case in point, Joe Jamail, the legendary Texas trial lawyer who represented Pennzoil and now prides himself on being the man who bankrupted Texaco.
What do you think about it all, Judge? How are you?
Fantastic.
He was not so circumspect when we asked him in Corpus Christi what people should think about his large campaign contributions to Judge Mauser.
Well, who else would help? I know him about as well as anybody. I know what his philosophy is. You know, is he going to go to his enemies and they're going to give him campaign contributions? That's bullshit and naive. You know it and I know it. And tell me, first off, our laws permit this, and not just in Texas, but every elective state that uses the elective system. So I don't know what they think. They would think he'd be a fool if he didn't ask. And incidentally, he never had to ask.
Joe Jamail died.
These greatest benefactors and the man some consider the greatest trial lawyer ever has died.
Joe Jamail passed away in Houston this morning at the age of 90, but his legacy is etched all over UT and courtrooms across the country. KXAN's Chris Sadeghi has more on this iconic Texan.
Beneath that gruff trial lawyer exterior was an absolute heart of gold.
With his riches, Joe Jamail gave more than $41 million to his beloved University of Texas. After a $15 million gift in 2008, he explained why.
You know, there are no vaults where I'm headed, up or down. And I've never seen a Brinks truck at a funeral yet.
His name adorns the swim center.
His legacy at the University of Texas, Joe Jamail Swimming Center, Joe Jamail Field.
Philanthropy extended beyond UT Austin. He and his wife Lee created their foundation in Houston back in the late 1980s. And since 1987, the foundation has given out more than $250 million to universities and charitable causes, most of them in Jamail's home state of Texas.
Part 2, 3 lessons of Joe Jamail. Lesson number 1, don't envy lawyers. My study indicates it's easier to make billions selling shoes, for example, field nights and many others, than practicing law. Lesson number 2, it took him more than 30 years to make $1 billion. So if you want to make money fast, try software, not law. Lesson number 3, Joe Jamail needed to pay too many people. $25,000 here, $45,000 there. He paid hundreds of people, millions of dollars to establish his legal empire. Thank you for watching. Please leave your questions and comments below. Wishing all lawyers peace and prosperity.